Hello, hi, welcome to the video. Today we're gonna talk about books and the books I very much enjoy, sad books. Oh, the sadness. Yes, we're gonna enter the sadness. Before I start this video, this all for funsies. You should read whatever books you want to read and never put any pressure on reading a book that's triggering or too sad for you. So just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna recommend a couple of books, a couple of sad books that I think is really good, very well written and very emotional and sad. So if you wanna join me on this little adventure and talk about the sad books, let's go! And if you're new here, welcome. I talk about books. I read mostly novels, contemporary fiction, I believe it's called, when it takes place in the now time. But sometimes I read other things too. So yeah, grab your tea, grab your coffee, and let's talk about the sad books. Sometimes you just want to get in the mood to be sad, you know, like you want to watch a sad movie, but this time you just want to read a sad book and go through the whole roller coaster. So that's what we're gonna do. Book number 1. A man called Ove. A man named Ove. I always mispronounce the title because it has different titles in different languages and movie and stuff. This movie. Oh my god. This movie. And book. Holy shit. You follow Ove, which is an elderly man who just is grumpy. He's just sad. He's not happy with his life and what's going on. He doesn't like his neighbors and just people are not following the protocol or just making a mess in the neighborhood. And you see him doing his rounds and cleaning things up and keeping stuff in check and getting annoyed by his neighbors, basically. But you follow the story through Ove's eyes. Like you see flashbacks on when Ove was younger, when he was not a grumpy old man, and how he got to the point where he is now. And it's a really sad but adorable story about this grumpy old man, but still has a lot of care for other people, even if it's not, like he can't say it, speak it. He's has such a big heart and yeah. It's so adorable but also so freaking sad. And it does deal with certain themes about finishing things, going to the afterlife, ending things, if you get my drift. So if that's anything that's triggering for you, I wouldn't recommend it. But it's a great book and it's wonderful. And it's definitely one of my favorite books for sure. And the movie, Swedish and American one, are good. So otherwise, watch the movies. Yes. The other book, which I own this book. Ta-da! Before the Coffee Gets Cold. This book is a novel. Just, this is what you get, baby. And it's a bunch of short stories. I think it's 3 or 4 stories in it. And you follow different characters that's in a cafe in Japan. I love Japan. This cafe is magical in a sense that if you go to this cafe and sit at a certain spot, you can time travel, kind of. You can go back in time and relive a certain occasion that happened in that cafe at that seat where you're sitting. And you can travel back in that time period until the coffee gets cold. Title drop. Ooh! It's a really humanizing story about like sci-fi time travel. It's not too extreme, and you see these different characters and what they're going through and the stuff they speak about. It's really emotional and beautiful in the same way, and these characters just want to go back to say things they wish they said, or they want to change things which they kind of can't do, but they just feel this guilt or this curiosity that they have to go back to this instance and be able to forward in life. This is a beautiful book. There are a bunch of other ones, but I haven't read those. This is the only one. But this works great to just read as a standalone. You don't have to read all the other ones, in my opinion. If you enjoy like cozy cafe vibes, Japan, short stories about different characters, and emotional sadness, highly recommend this one. Highly recommend. Next one, Shark Heart, a love story. How about that title? Wow! This book, I didn't expect too much out of it, but this book got me so freaking emotional. Bruh. I remember reading this book and I was thinking that I could not finish this. Like, I don't know if I can finish this. Like, I got so hooked by it. The book is about a couple, and one of the couples get a transformation, a sickness, a disease is more like it's described, where they are slowly turning into a shark. Which I know it sounds so absurd, but the way it's written in such a humanizing way, and it's so freaking sad. And oh my god, just talking about this, like it's so humanizing, and you see how this character is going through this transformation and in losing their ability to do normal tasks, and also losing their sanity in a way. And it's just so freaking sad. Oh my god, it's so sad. And then it also follows through the other character who's not going through this transformation, but is following through the couple, you know? And then it dwells into something so much more. And I don't want to spoil it because it's beautiful and it's amazing. It's such a tragic story, but I highly recommend it. And it's so inspirational in a way also to see this character going through all this shit together, you know? And still sticking together, even though they kind of know that they're doomed, you know? So good. I highly recommend it. It is like a longer book. I think it's over 500 pages or close to that. But some pages are just like one sentence or a couple of sentences. So don't be scared by the length of the book. It doesn't take too long because it's really easy written, easy to get into. Shark Heart, a love story. Wow. wow. Next one, Open Water. This book I almost bought, but the timing wasn't right. I had no money, aka I was too cheap and didn't want to spend my money. And now I kind of regret it afterwards. But I could of course get that book whenever. But yeah, Open Water. A beautiful book. It's a novel. It follows through two characters, and they're in their young 20s and are growing up and doing that stuff. And it's so raw and humanizing and just beautiful written. It's like a lyric. And yeah, it has a lot of music references in it. It takes place in England, and it deals with racism, but also a lot of other things like creativity and love, and how this couple are trying to find each other, but certain reason and certain things happen and they just keeps getting apart, and then getting back, but then also feeling that guilt that they shouldn't. And it's just so beautiful and sad. But oh my god, the way it's written is so freaking beautiful. Highly recommend Open Waters. Open Water, yes. Next one is The Crooked Kingdom. I bet you didn't expect that. Ah, shit. A fantasy series on Sofa? What? The Crooked Kingdom is the sequel to Six of Crows. So it's a duology. The Six of Crows is first, and then it's The Crooked Kingdom. It is about 6 different characters that are in a heist kind of way. And they do shady business in Fantasyland. In Kettle Dam. And you really get to know these characters and their motivation, and they're really grey characters. They do shitty things, but kind of for a good cause, but you know, it's kind of up in the air. And The Crooked Kingdom, oh my lordy. That was such a finale. That was such a good ending. I remember reading Six of Crows and finishing it, and I was thinking maybe I shouldn't continue, you know? Because it leaves you on a hook. It leaves you on a, like, to be continued kind of vibe. And I'm like, oh, this is so cool. And I was scared to read the next book if they would destroy that, like, mystery, or, you know? But I felt like I had to finish it. Like, I had to follow these characters through. What's gonna happen, you know? For all you guys who's starting to read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, I just want to say enjoy it, savor it, enjoy every moment, but also there is no going back. But I'm really glad that I read it, and pretty chunky read. I mean, maybe 500 pages and 500 pages, both of the books, but they fit in perfectly with each other. And it's kind of like, it is fantasy, but it's really grounded fantasy. So it's not too much fantasy talk. It's more about the characters and their actions. And shout out to Nina, my girlie, you know. I mean, I love Inage and Cass also, and I love all the characters. I love all the characters. So yeah, if you want some action, adventure, but also sadness, you've been warned. Sadness is coming, but enjoy every little moment of the Crooked Kingdom and the Six of Crows. But read Six of Crows first, then the Crooked Kingdom, okay? Yes, thank me later. The next book I have is Call Me By Your Name. This one, I own this one. Ta-da! Swedish edition, it got Swedish on it here. Wow! This is a novel. It is one book. It takes place in Italy. It's about this character who is very young. They are in their teens and they are falling in love. You know, I'm a sucker for a love story. What can I say? Falling in love with another character who is older than him. And it's about finding yourself and getting a grip of your sexuality. And when this takes place, it's kind of a stigma with loving a man and that stuff. And it's just so beautiful. It's beautiful written. It's such a sad story. I know that this age gap between them can be quite uncomfortable, and I do agree with that. But it's so beautiful. I just highly recommend reading this book. There's also a movie. The movie is really, really good. Such a good portrayal of this relationship, and also see how they affect each other and how their relationship really affect one of the characters and the other characters not so much, or like how they move on and not move on. And it's such a beautiful book. I wanted to move to Italy after reading this book. Once again, it's like with the open water Open Waters book. It's so lyrical. It's so beautifully written. So I can just recommend it so much. But yes, it does has an age gap in it, and I get it if you get uncomfortable with that. But it is something to experience for sure, and it's so freaking sad, and I just love it. I love this book. Yes. And then a little random shout out. There is a book called When Breath Becomes Air. I haven't read it in such a long time, so I can't say 100% what it is about, because my memory is a little bit foggy. But funny thing was, one of the member of BTS, the South Korean pop band, the one who raps, who is like the spokesperson for BTS that always says that he learned English by watching Friends, that person. He had a book recommendation thing, and one of the books was When Breath Becomes Air. And that book is so freaking sad. It is about some kind of a medical doctor or something like that, or like a surgeon working in the medical field. And he gets sick. I think he gets cancer, some sort of cancer. And it goes through his life with his family and his living and all that stuff. And like, you know, what are you gonna do in life when you get that diagnosis? And especially if you are in the medical field, you kind of know what's gonna happen or how your body's gonna shut down, or like, you know, it's a lot. It's really inspiring, and the way they find a way to live and enjoy the moment and find a way to exist and things to drive through and just get by and find new sparks in life. But it is extremely sad. Extremely sad. So if you want to have a sad read, When Breath Becomes Air. But that's all I can say, because I don't remember too much more about it. But damn, that's a sad read. Yes. Yeah, that's all the books I have for sad recommendation book readings. I hope some things are for your guys' liking, or anything that clicked with you. If you guys have any recommendations, let me know, you know. But once again, with sad books, read what you can handle. Triggers and that stuff, you should take that stuff seriously. So if a book gets too much for you, put it away. It's okay. You are allowed to DNF books. It's your time, you decide. Okay? That's all from me. Thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel for more book talk or vlog. I do vlogs also, if you like that stuff. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay? Take care and bye-bye!